This is Laura Cook, and we're talking about the respiratory system. We're first going to speak about the mouth, which is where our airway decides that it's going to take air in. Um, as you can see, it's going to start at this area of the face. It's going to be vascular and very wide opening. It also houses the tongue. The tongue is used in aiding and swallowing, and also in speaking. And it lives inside of the mouth area. Also, we're going to talk about the nasal cavity. The nasal cavity is actually directly right behind the nose, and this is the nose area here. We usually find a septum that separates the nose and a bone type fragment that's going to go on the top. That was part of the skull. And our nose is lined with mucous membranes and cilia, just like much of the rest of the respiratory system. And what that does is that when air goes in through the nose area or into the cavity, the cilia will catch any debris or any pollen or particles in the air that would cause us to have issues breathing. That nasal cavity, like we talked about, is directly behind here in this space, and it has the same thing. It's behind the mouth with the cilia, mucous membranes. We also go to the pharynx. The pharynx is actually, that's the tongue. Epiglottis, thyroid cartilage. Let's see what else we got here. The pharynx is going to be past this area here, and it's actually directly behind the mouth, so it's kind of hard to see in general that structure in certain areas. Let's see if I can zoom in on it for you. So back here in this space that goes, as I can see, and back behind these structures is going to start the pharynx. So that's going to be behind the throat and the nasal cavity, and it is also a pathway for air that flows. Sorry, I clicked on the tongue again. And then you have your larynx. It's going to go down further here. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see. There's your trachea. This trachea here is actually further down. The trachea actually is a pathway that moistens air and warms air, as it also cilia coated to keep foreign objects from out. So as you notice, the whole respiratory tract will have that. Above here, you're going to find the hyaloid cartilage and these thyroid cartilage. That's what is above that. And it shows kind of these pinker areas that protect your larynx and pharynx. And those are two different tubes that go on both sides of the throat. The larynx is actually connected to the trachea and the pharynx, and it is known as a voice box. So I always think of the law as in sync, and for the F and the pH for food as to where these two tubes travel. I'll bring it down a little further here. We've already talked about that. So we do the lungs. These are the lungs here. You're going to see pleura, and they're going to show you. Let's see if I can get the lung by itself. So both lungs are both sides of this pink ash like tissue that's kind of ashy on the other side is going to be the inside of the lungs. When you tack down the lung and look at it, you can see that it's a large structure, but one side's bigger than the other. Obviously, your left side's going to have a lot more structure to it. And inside the lungs, what it does is it exchanges gas as it inhale and exhale, and those gases move through the system via our bronchioles, and these are small tubes that also have the end of the alveoli sacs. They expand and deflate with your breathing, and that conducts your oxygen levels and the gas movement through those small sacs and alveoli that live inside this lung structure. Thank you.